And now, City Manager David Brandt.
Good evening and welcome to the 2013 CREST Awards. I'm David Brandt, the Cupertino City Manager. As some of you know, I'm relatively new to the city, and this is my first CREST Awards presentation. And so when I met with my staff to ask what's going to be expected of me tonight, my first question was, what are the CREST Awards? Is this some award about tooth decay prevention or what? And they looked at me and said, no, it's the Cupertino Recognizes Extra Steps Taken Award. And I thought to myself, well, that's a mouthful. Why don't we call it the Outstanding Volunteer Award? And they looked at me and said, again, like I'm not getting it, and they said, well, our recipients a lot of times are uncomfortable taking personal recognition for the service they provide, and so we sort of try not to overplay it. And I was confused again, and then sort of a light bulb finally popped in my head, and I said, of course. Our recipients don't spend the hundreds and hundreds of hours every year doing the work they do because they want to receive an award. They do it because they're dedicated to our community and passionate about the work they do. So in recognizing them, not only are we thanking them for their service, and they truly do spend tremendous amounts of hours doing their service, but we're also validating the value of the service and the work they do for our community. And so when we go over all the individual recipients, I would like us to really think about exactly what they're doing for us and why it's so valuable, and not only just to thank them for their effort, but to recognize the value of their service. So I know you don't want to hear me ramble on, so I will rapidly move to bring up our Mayor Orrin Mahoney to talk about our first recipient.
Thanks, Dave. So yeah, before we introduce our first recipient tonight, I would like to echo what our city manager said about how important volunteerism is in the community. Many of you were at the State of the City that I did earlier this year, and it was based on a book by a man named Kaiagawa entitled "For the Love of Cities," and he really talks about the role that everyone plays in making a city great and a city lovable, and he calls them co-creators, and that's what we have here tonight. We have many in the city. There are different organizations. There's different individuals. We could not be the city that we are without people like the recipients of tonight's CREST Awards. And so we're going to start with the first one that I know very well, and that's Fari Aberg. And if we can roll tape.
In 2003, Fari Aberg accepted a CREST Award for her work as a neighborhood organizer. At the time, she made a comment. "I'm looking for a few more years, a lot more years in the coming future to help the community." Today, 10 years later, Fari's commitment to the Cupertino community is as strong and as effective as it was a decade ago. Last year, she continued her efforts on behalf of emergency preparedness, working as a block leader and as a member of both CERT and CARES, the amateur radio group. Also, as coordinator of the city's Medical Reserve Corps, Fari worked with local volunteer medical responders, scheduling and developing training exercises and arranging medical support at community events. She also served as Cupertino's liaison with Santa Clara County's emergency medical services. In spite of her busy schedule, Fari found time to complete an emergency medical technician certification course at Foothill College, evidence of her personal dedication to the health and safety of Cupertino residents. Supplementing her interest in preparedness, Fari also spent many hours actively participating in several community events last year, including the Fall Festival, Big Bunny Fun Run, Tournament of Bands, and the Diwali Festival. Now, as she did in 2003, this enthusiastic go-getter will probably tell you that she's still looking forward to a lot more years of helping her community.
Great. Come on up, Fari. So I think we probably first met at the Health and Safety Fair many years ago, I think, and which was a standalone event that Fari, while she was on the Public Safety Commission, helped drive. And whoops, did I do the wrong ones? Okay, I did do the wrong ones. Thank you.
I'll help you with this.
All right, good. And what happened there is, after a while, one of the things we decided was to incorporate that health and safety fair into the larger Jubilee and the Fall Festival now. And Fari came along with that and is not a Rotarian, but is active on that committee and is as active as any of the other, chairs of the Fall Festival, and has driven that every year. And what I can say about Fari is she always gets things done. You can completely depend on her. She has high standards for herself and high standards for everyone around her, including me when I drop the ball. So Fari is not at all shy about saying, you said you were going to do this, and as Mr. Just in Time or Mr. Often Late, she can point that out. But Fari's a great volunteer. This is her passion. She continues to take, the classes to make her a professional in this area. And, I really value the work that she's done for the city. So, say a few words. Come on. No? Say a few words.
Okay, this was not supposed to be part of it. I think it's the advantage of your last name to start with an A. So I wasn't prepared, but I am honored to be here, and I could not have done it without the help of other volunteers in the city that always support all of our activities that we do in the city. And I'd like to thank all the volunteers, in particular the MRC volunteers, which have been with me for many, many years. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have certificates from the county, from the state, California legislature, state senate, and of course, the city of Cupertino.
Wow, thank you so much.
So thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Do I get that back?
And of course, yes, you do. And Fari was not the first because of alphabetical. She was the first because the mayor gets to pick the two to give out, and she was one of the two that I picked. The second recipient, the one that's second on the list tonight, will not be getting, we will not be honoring her tonight. That's Janet Riddell. Many people may know or may not know Janet's husband, Hugh Riddell, who is also a longtime volunteer in the community, is extremely ill. And Janet cannot make it here tonight. And what we decided to do was to do her ceremony at a future council meeting where it'll be much more enjoyable for her and for all of those involved. So we will not be honoring Janet tonight. And with that, we'll move on to our next honoree, and Vice Mayor Gilbert Wong will come up and do the honors for that.
Good evening. This is one of my favorite events to come here as a council member, as a vice mayor, because I was also a recipient of a CREST Award too. So I know how it's very important for all our awardees tonight. So thank you for coming out tonight to support these wonderful folks. First, I would like to announce the name of the recipient, and the first one is Alberto Boleda. Can we roll the tape, please?
If you spend any time walking along the streets and byways of Cupertino's Monte Vista area, there's a good chance you'll run into Alberto Boleda. He's a guy who watches out for his neighborhood. And the best way of keeping his finger on the pulse of his community is to get out there, boots on the ground, and see firsthand what's going on. Al's interest in helping to keep people safe was sparked 4 years ago during a class sponsored by the Cupertino Emergency Response Team, better known as CERT program. Since then, he has embraced the mission of bringing information on preparedness to his fellow residents by becoming a block leader and an active participant in the Cupertino Citizen Corps. The Corps is a national network of volunteers dedicated to keeping communities safe. Last year, as a member of the local group steering committee, Al stepped up and took on leadership roles at several Cupertino events. He served as the incident commander during the July 4th fireworks show and helped manage the Corps' multifaceted fall emergency exercise. In addition, Al was the driving force behind a move to improve communication among several preparedness programs. Now coordinators from Citizen Corps, block leaders, and Neighborhood Watch all report to the same person within the city organization. As he strolls along the streets of the city, Al looks for ways to improve neighborhood safety. And then he takes action.
Mr. Boleda is in Spain tonight. He arranged a trip the week before he received his congratulatory letter from the city. He is honored to receive the CREST Award and regrets not being able to accept it in person, but he has sent Mr. Ken Erickson to accept on his behalf. If Ken could step up here. And you can stand on the magic X first, because it has a few words to read about Mr. Boleda that he can watch on the video. Al is a native of Chile. He earned a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering from UC Davis and a master's at Santa Clara University. He and his wife, Marilyn, had lived in Cupertino for 32 years, and his 2 children attended Cupertino schools. He began working at Nortel Network in 1975 and retired 30 years later as vice president of his company. He holds several U.S. patents in the area of digital signal transmission. Al is very active in Cupertino youth soccer leagues, coaching boys team for a number of years. His volunteer work also includes working in the homeless shelter in San Jose. He was an avid long-distance runner and approximately for 30 years running at least 1 marathon each year. We congratulate Mr. Boleda. I know that he's doing his time in Spain, as I would love to be in España as well, too. But we have Mr. Erickson here, and I'd like to present Mr. Erickson on behalf to Mr. Alberto Boleda, the 2000 CREST Award. And as Mayor Mahoney said earlier, just to be, we have a County Supervisor Joe Simidian gave a beautiful plaque. Okay, I'm going to make you, I'll hold this for you for a minute. We have been to CREST Awards where people dropped these before. It's from State Senator Jim Bell, a congratulatory certificate. From State Senator Paul Fong, a congratulatory recognition. And of course, from the City of Cupertino and the City Council, a proclamation as well, too.
Yes, if I might, he has something. Great. Okay, thank you. So, as you know, Al is in Spain, so he wanted me to read this to you if I could. It says, I am honored to have been nominated and selected to receive the City of Cupertino's 2013 CREST Award. I'm sorry that I'm not able to be here in person to receive the award. My wife and I are traveling in Europe, and we were not able to change our plans. I would like to thank the many Cupertino Citizen Corps volunteers who have served as my teachers, coaches, mentors, and hardworking teammates. It is because of their great teamwork and dedication that I have been able to contribute to our community. I would also like to thank the many of City of Cupertino employees and managers for their encouragement, support, and assistance to the Citizen Corps. This award would not be possible without their support. Finally, I would like to thank Mayor Mahoney and the entire City Council for their support in making this award possible. Thank you very much, Al Boleda. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. The fourth presentation that I'd like to do tonight is Diane Heckman. If we can roll the tape, please.
If West Valley Community Services said jump, Diane Heckman would ask how high. Then she'd jump even higher. Diane walked into WVCS for the first time last March and signed up for a 3-hour shift in the agency's food pantry. 5 months later, she asked for another shift and began working 2 mornings a week. 3 months after that, she was still game for more. When WVCS found itself needing a gleaner, someone who drives to local grocery stores and picks up donated food, Diane jumped at the chance to help. In fact, she has jumped up so often that she's now working double shifts at the agency and delivering between 850 and 1,150 pounds of food every week to WVCS from local markets. When the gleaning is done, she joins other volunteers in the food pantry, hefting boxes and bags weighing up to 50 pounds, sorting and organizing the donations and restocking the pantry shelves. Hardworking, steadfast, kind, and committed, Diane is willing to volunteer for any shift that needs her. She honed her management and organization skills in the computer networking industry, where she built a 25-year career. 2 years ago, she left the field to spend more time on her family and her volunteer work. During the past year, WVCS and the Cupertino community have benefited significantly from Diane's service. In the words of the agency administrators, she is more than a valued volunteer. She is the true spirit of the CREST Award.
Diane Heckman. I'd like to say a few words about Diane Heckman. In addition to her volunteer work in Cupertino, she also contributes many hours to her neighborhood middle school in Los Altos. Her work for the middle school has included tutoring first graders, acting in fundraising melodrama, coordinating an in-script program, and serving captain in the hot lunch program. Another pet project is the Pandemonia Aviaries in Los Altos Hills, where she's contributed 200 hours of help in computer and network issues. This is a bird sanctuary that cares for breeds rare birds in hope of saving them from extinction. Did you bring a bird today? Oh, shoot. Diane has a degree in computer science with a minor in business administration and a great combination of skills for nonprofit work. To top it off, she holds a certificate of marketing from UC Santa Cruz. As you know, we celebrated the 40th anniversary of West Valley Community Service, and it's great to see Diane's hard work at West Valley Community Service. Again, let's give a warm applause to Diane Heckman.
Well, the first time I became aware of food banks and need in our community was when I was working at Novell in the 1980s, and our managers had a competition, and the manager that lost had to sing in front of the entire team. And that was a really good incentive. The managers were matching contributions so that they wouldn't have to sing. So it made an impression on me that people were willing to work to get money for the different food banks, and I've always contributed. And now, thanks to my boyfriend, I'm able to spend more time doing volunteer work and helping out at WVCS. And I'm very impressed by the volunteers there. They all work very hard and everything gets done, and the staff is all wonderful. Thank you. And it's just a nice place to be, and it's nice to get things accomplished. I've also enjoyed meeting the various clients. There are people there through no fault of their own. You know, something happened that threw them off the rails, and they just need a little bit of help to get back on the track. So it's nice to help people. So thanks for the opportunity, West Valley Community Services. I do appreciate it, and a chance to give back.
These are the proclamations.
I get all this stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then don't drop this. It's very easy to break.
Okay. All right.
Thanks,
Gilbert.
You're welcome. Again, it's my honor to be here to present the awardees, and I'd like to call my fellow Councilmember Mark Central.
So as most of you know, the CREST Awards have been going on for some time, and every year I keep thinking that there can't possibly be any more people in Cupertino who have done enough quality work deserving of a CREST Award, and every year we have a lot more recipients, and I'm just very impressed with all of our residents. Tonight, the first award I have to present is one of those many people. It's actually a couple, Jerry and Beverly Tallinger.
It didn't take long for Jerry and Beverly Tallinger to make an impression in Cupertino. They've lived here just 3 short years, but already they're rock stars in community safety and preparedness circles. They began their acquaintance with the city by joining CERT, Cupertino Emergency Response Team. Very soon after that, they weren't just attending meetings, they were leading them. The couple's commitment and dedication to the program was especially evident last year during the annual citywide disaster preparedness drill. 6 months before that event, which involved the simulated aftermath of a major flood in the region, The Tallingers spent untold hours in meetings and planning sessions. On the big day, they worked 10-plus hours each in critical positions. Jerry was the overall drill leader, and Bev took charge of the incident command post at Blackberry Farm. The exercise was not without challenges. Bev ran her post shorthanded, coordinating a scattered corps of volunteers while operating two-way radios. But the couple's meticulous pre-planning and training paid off and were vital to the success of the drill. Last year, Jerry and Bev wrote detailed training documents on numerous emergency response topics, and they spent 20 weeks as instructors for weekly CERT classes. Reliable, knowledgeable, and always willing to volunteer their time, the Tallingers serve as city ambassadors in the ongoing effort to educate and motivate Cupertino citizens about the value of being safe and prepared.
So, Jerry and Beverly. So, see, they take direction well too. It's great. So, we're very fortunate to have these two out of Austin to move to Cupertino for a very short time. They've been tremendously involved. I'm on the Disaster Council as well as the County Emergency Council, and these two are very aware in emergency preparedness stuff. They're CERT trained. Jerry also writes an article for the Scene, Simply Safe. And I think that the tape didn't stress how much work the two of them actually put into the disaster drill last year. It was a huge effort and a very big success. And if you get in any trouble, you need to look these two. And if you heard or something, because they're the ones to talk to. So I'm going to hand you these first. They actually got them right this year. Last few times we had couples, we had one, and then there's a fight over it. There's another one.
We can share.
Okay.
Oh, he wants to sign.
You want? That's why there's two.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank Cupertino for recognizing volunteers. It's really awesome that they do that. Not every city goes to the extent that Cupertino has to do this, and I really am honored that we're receiving this award. I do have to make one slight correction. We have recently moved back to Cupertino. We moved to Cupertino in 1989 against my better judgment. And we moved into our house and we promptly had an earthquake. And that is why I now volunteer, because I don't want anybody else to ever have to feel as scared as I was. And so that really is my motivation. But we were here in '89, we moved to Texas for 4 years and then moved back to Cupertino. So we're glad to be back in town.
I want to thank the city manager and mayor and city council members for this honor. It's nice to be recognized. Being a volunteer, we don't really expect it. I want to thank. I got my start as a volunteer just early. My dad was a volunteer fireman for over 50 years. A volunteer fire commissioner and a fire policeman. So he's set the example for me. So I want to sort of thank him for that as well. And it's our goal to really get the city as safe as possible and educate the citizens. And it's a team effort. I mean, everybody in the Cupertino Citizen Corps really puts the effort in to do that. And so I want to thank all the other volunteers as well. It's really a team effort, and we want to make this city the ideal prepared city. Thank you.
So I was also here for the '89 quake, and I understand why you're thinking. I wasn't quite as frightened because I managed to make the Northridge quake also. So I try not to miss any major quakes, which is maybe why I have interest in disaster preparedness as well. Our next recipient is Don Van Buren. You can run the tape, please.
From track and field to homeless shelters, Don Van Buren spreads his love of volunteerism to every corner of the community. A Cupertino resident for more than 30 years, he's an equal opportunity giver, helping every group in need that comes his way. Among his many services in 2012, Don contributed countless hours to youth athletics. He continued years of active participation in AYSO as a soccer referee. He worked as a local track and field official. And for Cupertino Hoops, a nonprofit youth basketball program, he was head referee and referee coordinator and served as a board member. His wide-ranging volunteer efforts have no boundaries, covering such diverse beneficiaries as the Rotating Shelter Program, Kennedy Middle School, and the Worldwide Marriage Encounter Organization. Don is especially involved in the men's club at Church of Ascension, one of the sites for the Silicon Valley Rotating Shelter. Last year, as a member of the church council, he was deeply immersed in organizing day-to-day logistics when the shelter came to his church. He helped to coordinate facilities, supplies, meals, and volunteers for this Faith of Action program that seeks to house the homeless in our community. Don is the embodiment of a true volunteer. He gives without regard to recognition. He gives straight from the heart.
So notice Don has good posture. He's also in the Army Reserve, and you know how to fire the starting pistol in the video there. Don graduated from Santa Clara University. He worked for the Bay Area Air Quality Management District for a long time, looking out for all of our health and monitoring our air. Raised a couple of children, and I guess most of there's a clothing drive, food for the shelter, homeless. He's done a lot of programs through his church and other volunteer activities, most of which is in the tape. One of the great things and bad things about the tape for my fellow council members and I is that everything that we think we're going to say usually gets said in the tape, and so it's the staff does a wonderful job with that. Anyway, give you your awards. You like to say a few words first, that way I'm getting trained. I won't drop them. Don? Okay.
Well, I have to thank Jeff and Lori Moe for recommending me for this award. You know, it's nice to be recognized. A little, you know, something in the mail would have been just fine. Everywhere I go, every event I'm involved in, though, there are lots of volunteers. So it feels a little funny being recognized because there are so many volunteers. I really enjoy working with volunteers. I enjoy working with our great kids. You know, anyone ever tell you that today's kids are rotten, bad, whatever, you know, they're not from around here because we just have really great kids. And I enjoy providing assistance to those in need. I feel fortunate in having the support of my wife and my now adult kids. And even more now, I have the time and the good health to volunteer. I was very fortunate when I got a job in San Francisco, the farthest I ever worked from home, to have a boss that really promoted being active in my kids' activities. So if they were involved in an activity, I either tried to coach it, manage it, assist, provide some help. Kids get to a point where they don't want you to do it. Well, you know, you still try and contribute. Along the way, Cupertino Hoops was formed. I've been with Cupertino Hoops since its inception, I think a little over 20 years ago. It's an everyone play league. We have about 500 kids now. It's about a 3-month season, and I think you know, I think everybody involved in the league is just great. There was a little clip that was shown. I'm the referee coordinator, I like to referee. So, we're probably the only league where you have 4th, 5th graders and, a 3-man ref, 3 refs on the court. I don't want to, I try and line up the refs, but I don't want to just sit. I find it especially rewarding because I use a lot of high school refs, a lot of high school students. It's just so rewarding to me to bring them up, let them ref, teach them to ref, mentor them. Talking about Cupertino hoops, I've got to stress, I put in time, but Robin Young, who's been our president for probably 10 years, he just puts in a lot of time. Probably every hour I put in, he puts in 10 hours. He's just a wonderful individual. I'd also like to stress that if people know how to get us more gym space, that they get us more gym space. We don't advertise because we turn away kids during our signups. We just get too many kids. And none of us that are volunteering want to turn away the kids, but we just don't have enough practice space. I got started in track and field with my daughter running at St. Francis. Again, there are other people that have been at St. Francis volunteering longer than I. Gary Voss, Steve Fuller. I got started as a starter due to this crazy guy named Hank Lawson. Colorful. A lot of times he'll wear a really funny-looking hat. He's a timer. He was a coach at Lynbrook. So I started at Lynbrook and I've expanded. But again, dealing with all the kids, the coaches, it's just been a wonderful experience. From a volunteer perspective, Monte Vista seems to get the most volunteers out for a track meet. So that's a plus in there. I've enjoyed being a soccer referee. Rex Wright is a current head soccer referee for the local region, but there have been so many over the years, and every one of them has just been wonderful. The AYSO with everybody playing it's a great concept. It's one I fully support. I've been involved in a number of activities at my church, but the Connect group is the group that sponsors the rotating shelter. The video was a little incorrect, but it's a Connect group, and Russ Castronovo and we seem to be the only management in it right now, but we get excellent parish support. I mean, whatever we want, the parish provides. The rotating shelter, it was suspended for a year, but because of efforts primarily from Kathy Edwards, it was resurrected. Mary Ellen Henning is a Cupertino resident, and she's also very instrumental in its operation. But it's almost difficult to name those two because I'm leaving off so many other names. But I really feel committed to providing for those in need of assistance. I thank you for the recognition. I hope I'm able to continue giving to the community for many years. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to stand over here. They want to take you. Usually I have to twist people's arm to get them to say anything, so I think Don got the record for the longest acceptance speech. However, I want to point out one thing in his speech is the same. All the speeches seem to sound the same, like, I don't know why me, I don't feel like I do enough, all these people do more work. You're a very humble group and very impressive, and we're lucky to have all of you. With that, I'd like to bring up the next, my fellow council member, Barry Chang, to give out the next award.
Hi, my name is Barry Chen. I'm a city council member. I came from Taiwan, and most people don't know volunteerism in the United States is very special. Okay, when I was growing up in Taiwan, there's pretty much not much volunteer. You don't see it, but they change it now after the communication. You look at when we try to have a sister city from China. One of the requirements is we have to have a volunteer here and a volunteer in China, and then we haven't have a sister city because they haven't been able to find one volunteer group there. So volunteerism is very special here. In my opinion, it's the backbone of the democracy. So this is very important, and then we're doing this. And then I know we have a lot of them. Like we just interviewed the teen commission 2 days in a row. We have more than 70 applicants. And if you look at their resume of this high schooler or even middle schooler, I mean, they have a lot of volunteer work involved, so many out there. So we really appreciate the volunteer work for all the recipients and everybody here. So my job is to introduce LaWanda Moore-Khorsand. And can we roll her?
On LaWanda Moore-Khorsand's list of priorities, family comes first, and West Valley Community Services runs a very close second. Staff members say LaWanda lets nothing get in the way of her Monday afternoon shift at WVCS. Last year was a continuation of dedicated service that began in the spring of 2011 when LaWanda first started volunteering for the agency. Since then, she has been a weekly fixture there, in between caring for her family and going to school and work. Outside obligations take a back seat when LaWanda arrives at WVCS. Her attention is focused on the food pantry and the 15 or so clients who look to her for assistance during her shift. In advance of their arrival, LaWanda ensures that all donations that day from Second Harvest Food Bank are unloaded and well ordered on pantry shelves. When it's time for the shoppers to fill their bags, LaWanda is there, chatting easily with them and helping them feel comfortable and informed about their selections. Her sociable personality, can-do attitude, and dedication to the job make her a perfect fit for the often demanding work of organizing and distributing 1,000 pounds of food to people in need. Whether it's stocking shelves, training new volunteers, studying for exams, earning a living, or looking after her family, LaWanda makes time for things that are important to her. She is one of the community's hardest workers and the very definition of an efficient multitasker.
While she's coming up, she's a payroll specialist. Do you know what's payroll specialist? If you want to get paid, you ask her. If you want to say a few words first, then we'll give you the all the document here. Thank you.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank the City of Cupertino and also West Valley Community Services. One of the things that was really interesting for me was when I received the letter in the mail, it was actually on April 1st, and I thought when I opened it up, this has to be an April 1st joke. So it wasn't until I actually went in for my shift that day and our director, Tricia, congratulated me on receiving the award. I thought, oh, okay, I guess it is real. So. And I'd also like to thank them for giving me the opportunity to be there because it's been almost 2 years now, and I look forward to every Monday going to my shift and volunteering and helping the customers that come through there every day and making sure that they feel validated when they come through and let them know that we appreciate them as much as they appreciate us for being there. And thank you to the staff because without them, I don't think West Valley community could function the way they are. They're wonderful. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I have a few more words to say about LaWanda. Okay, she also attending the classes at West Valley College, and also involved with the work study program there. And besides that, she's volunteer at West Valley Community Service, and she has been known how to juggling around the family, the work, and then the study, and also taking care of the daughter and mother, loving and caring. So here's your CREST Award. And then more from the County of Santa Clara, okay, from County Supervisor Joseph Lincoln and State Senate Jim Beck. Okay. And then also State Assembly Member Paul Fong, and from the entire City Council. Thank you very much. Will you help? Thank you. So before I step down, I just want to say a few words about Janet Riddell. Her husband, Hugh Riddell, also served on Public Safety Commission with me before a couple of years ago. They came to my event for environmental last year, at a fundraising event, and then we have a good time dancing, singing and dancing, and so just pray for Hugh. Thank you, appreciate it. And the next one, let me bring the other council member, Rossi. I have a short memory, sorry.
Thank you very much. It's a bit of an inside joke because we've been in Teen Commission interviews for, I don't know, was it 5-6 hours yesterday and another 3-4 hours today, and we've talked to, I think close to 80 of the finest kids you'll want to meet. And you tell them, Mark, thank you. And my name was being confused with certain other council members in these meetings after we're going a little stir crazy. But on a personal note, Don, you refereed countless games, both soccer and basketball, for my kids. So it's nice to see you being recognized on stage, and you deserve every bit of the recognition you're getting, as do all of these fine recipients. So I'd like to talk about Thersy Lorenzen. And let's have the tape, please.
Ben Franklin said death and taxes were the only certainties in life. But here's another one. If it's Thursday, Thersy Lorenzen will be at West Valley Community Services. Since May 2012, Thersy has spent every Thursday without fail behind a desk at WVCS, where she has logged more than 160 hours of volunteer service in less than a year. Her professional skills and work ethic have proved invaluable to the agency. Because of Thersy's ability and willingness to take on a range of tasks, her duties are as varied as the programs and services offered by WVCS. And since each program has its own set of policies and procedures, Thersy has made a point of learning all of them. She helps the case management team with phone calls to clients, ensuring that families are connected to and aware of the services and training available to them. Her friendly voice quickly puts at ease those clients who are stressed and overwhelmed. She also assists with the agency's pre-screening process to help clients apply for public benefits. In addition, Thersy's exceptional and painstaking work in reviewing files, data entry, and analysis has resulted in a twofold benefit. More families are getting the help they need, and WVCS is gaining a better understanding of how to fill the gaps in its current service. Every day at this busy agency brings new challenges, but if it's Thursday, it must be Thersy, working efficiently and diligently to handle whatever comes along.
Oh, and you're proactive too. That's wonderful. So Thersy is a Bay Area native who grew up in Marin County, studied behavioral science at De Anza College and at San Jose State. And we're talking about kids and what they learn from us. And, you know, education and our kids are such a value in the community. And you learned, didn't you, early on from your mother, a retired teacher who tutored ESL students and helped in an adult literacy program at San Quentin Prison. So the habits we demonstrate for our kids, they tend to pick up, so that's wonderful. Thersy worked in high-tech sales and marketing for most of her career for both video game and software industries. Very good. Which companies? Symantec, Activision, yeah, wonderful. So, and one of the demanding jobs that you do at West Valley is the Haven to Home program. And so this provides support for the homeless. And this is a tough job because there's limited capacity for overwhelming need. So you talk to those on the waiting list, answering questions, scheduling appointments, and updating them on their wait list status for that limited resource of a home. And when you're not volunteering, I understand that you like to dance, garden, cook, and do creative art projects. So at this point, let me present you with this. I'll let you make a few remarks, and then I'll give you the rest of the collateral here.
Thank you for this award, and thank you so much to the staff at West Valley Community Services for nominating me. And most of all, thank you to them for the work they do every day for our community. So thank you for the opportunity.
Here we have the plaque and all the rest of the lovely certificates. Thank you very much. And I'd like to ask Mayor, what's your name? Mayor Mahoney to return to the stage.
So we were a little punchy. So we literally had 79 applications that we interviewed them all, 5 minutes each or stretched a little bit more. For 6 slots. That makes we think we're more selective than Stanford and Harvard and any other university out there as far as ratio of applicants to acceptees. But it really does, and you know, the message came out with Don's talk as well about the future of Cupertino, and the future of Cupertino is bright as well in terms of the volunteerism that we see there in our youth will continue on, and I'm sure many of those people in the future will become future CREST awardees. So we're about to adjourn out into the lobby to have some refreshments, but before we adjourn, if we could give all our honorees one last round of applause, that'd be great.